Welcome to my actual play of The Wayfarer, a solo RPG about exploration and world building. This is a game designed to make it easy for you to dive into solo role-playing and complete your first adventure. You will create an exciting world as you adventure through it and fill it with fun locations and characters. It is simple, novice-friendly, and requires no prep. You will start playing immediately, journey through the world you imagine, and discover it as you play, one scene at a time. I'll be taking you through my solo session, showing you how the game works and the story that unfolds. First, I need to define the world. In The Wayfarer, this can be as simple as something like Wild West or Fantasy Kingdom, but I want to play in the world I'm currently developing for my campaign. In this chaotic and colorful fantasy world, the allied kingdoms of light have conclusively defeated the armies of the Dark Lord, and now rule over the lands with an iron fist. The pompous and insufferable good guys are oppressing and mistreating the stereotypically bad guys like orcs and goblins, who are actually scrappy and sympathetic misfits. Think Firefly meets Shrek. I want to explore and develop one specific region of this world, so I'll focus on that. The fringes are the uncharted regions beyond the reach of the allied kingdoms, where many bad guys have fled to survive and live free. Think Wild West meets Tortuga. After establishing the world, the next step is creating my character. For this, I roll on the tables to generate my character archetype and character prompt. I roll twice on each table and pick the option I prefer. For character archetype, I get the courier, someone who transports interesting, confidential, illegal, or unusual items requiring special handling. The courier reaches a milestone when they make a delivery. Reaching milestones enables me to gain new abilities and progress through the game. For character prompt, I get Cynical Cultist. Based on these prompts, I come up with my character and one special ability they have at the start of the game. My character is Nerissa. She's a pale and grumpy teenager. Think April from Parks and Recreation. She took a minimum wage job as a delivery girl for a Lovecraftian cult. This cult has chapters all across the continent, and she works as a courier, transporting various creepy packages between the cult layers. For her abilities, she can perform a dark ritual that summons a small imp, a low-level demon, to do her bidding. Now that I have my character, it's time to start playing. First, I roll on the locations table and pick a location prompt. I get Wild Outpost. I need to figure out how and why she ended up at this location. I decide she's here to deliver some creepy package to a cult lair in the middle of nowhere. Nerissa journeys through the jungle, towards a small cult encampment stationed at the local swamps. She has a huge jar strapped to her back, like a backpack. Inside the jar, a tangle of tentacles floats in a murky yellow liquid. The cultists are learning to summon and commune with the eldritch swamp monsters, and the tentacles are a critical ingredient for their rituals. To determine what happens at this location, I roll twice on the events table and pick the one I like most. The event I choose is Face a stealth challenge requiring secrecy or careful movement. I need to come up with a specific stealth challenge. She needs to sneak past someone or something. I think it could be either something dangerous in the jungle or the cultists themselves. I can't decide, so I roll for it. I roll a 2, meaning she needs to sneak past the cultists themselves. Why would she need to sneak past the cultists? I think about it and decide that maybe she's delivering this package late, and she wants to drop it off and get paid before the evil chapter leader notices and yells at her. So here's how the scene unfolds. Nerissa sweats as she runs through the jungle, trying to get her delivery faster, but she knows she's already late. She approaches the camp where a lanky cultist with greasy hair yells at his followers, issuing commands and rebuking people. He screams in a high-pitched voice, "Get back to work, you useless squid ankles, or I will feed you to my snakes!" For this scene to work, I need to establish what Nerissa wants and what makes it difficult to achieve. Nerissa wants to avoid getting yelled at for a late delivery. She looks for a way to sneak into the camp leader's tent, to drop off the jar, and get paid before he notices her. What makes it difficult is that the camp is swarming with watchful cultists. Now it's time for action. I need to describe what Nerissa will do to get what she wants. Nerissa summons her imp to create a distraction. She draws a pentagram in the dirt, spills a drop of blood, and a tiny red devil poofs into the air. He giggles maniacally, flaps his small wings, and flies off into the camp. To see if this plan works, I need to roll for success. I set the difficulty number to 10, as it's a moderately challenging task. I roll with advantage because I'm using Nerissa's special ability. I roll a 12 and a 9, taking the higher roll, so I succeed. Now I get to describe the outcome of Nerissa's successful action. Moments later, Nerissa hears screams and sees one of the cultists running, holding a burning ancient tome. The cult leader curses, "What have you done, you idiot? This thing is priceless!" The cultist tries to explain himself. But sir, it was the tiny red imp. We need to get him before he destroys more precious artifacts." With everyone distracted, Nerissa sneaks into the cult leader's tent, leaves her delivery on his table, and grabs some gold coins from his desk in payment for her work. This is my first delivery, so I reach a milestone. Each milestone allows me to come up with a new cool ability for my character. Milestone 1. Nerissa has delivered a jar of tentacles to the local swamp encampment and got paid for her work. For her new ability, I decide she found a potion recipe in the cultist's desk, and can now brew a potion that consumes the surrounding light when spilled. Every time I add a new ability, I also need to come up with a new region or a location I want to explore. I need to describe what makes it challenging and what compels me to explore it. I roll for the new location and get Guarded Crater. I'll say that Nerissa overheard cultists gossiping about a meteor crater nearby, which is guarded by holy knights. If she manages to grab a chunk of the meteor and bring it to the cult, she might get a promotion. And that's the end of my first mini-episode. Stay tuned for more adventures. If you're interested in playing the